days, and that was geared towards producing a report to justify and prove why this is a very good deal. Who delivered that report, and when did they deliver it? And how did they deliver it? There's a reason why I'm asking that question.
You have to assist me on this, but the more I think about the 30 days, I think it took so long. We really needed an airport. If you receive that...
I think the CS should give us, should respect our intelligence. We're not talking from nothing school kids. Respect our intelligence and address us as adults and address us as senators of the Republic of Kenya.
Are you addressing Chirchir or addressing the chairman?
I'm addressing.
I think the best thing for us to do is that for the CS, when a question is directed to you, just be direct to the point. And so avoid, and answer. If you know the answer, say I do. If you don't, we are lenient as a committee. We can always read between the lines. So kindly, and also it's also good for us to know that we are governed by the standing orders, and I'm really withholding, invoking some of the standing orders, like standing order 115, which is a statement of facts whenever we are interacting with this department or with this issue. So let's restrain ourselves to the issue at hand, which brought us to this committee. By so doing, we'll be able to get answers. And that's why, initially when we started, remember we were giving every senator about 3 minutes, so that you ask your questions and you get a response. So the moment you bring this kind of interaction, you will have point of orders, and we might lose the points that
I actually nearly want to agree with you, but let me tell you why I'm cross-examining this.
No, proceed
with the reasons. Just allow me. There's a very good reason I want to do that.
Chair, with the permission of Senator Onoka. Yesterday I said something about the CSGT. It is one of the few people, out of my interactions with cabinet secretaries, and I have a very low opinion of the cabinet, but it's one of the few who is usually very forthright. Yes. So, Honorable CS, you remember I owe you something. Congratulations. Please don't get the ring. I need you to be the same forthright person. If something is wrong, Honorable CS, the CS that I know, will say it is wrong. Yes. And it was not you. You are not there.
You are not there.
So throw people under the bus if you must. You must retain.
Yes.
Yoga is carrying him.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. He's my familiar mate at the university. We spent quite a bit of time together. I'm just trying to make sure we get the truth about this. The next question I want to ask, actually, Chair, through you, is not to the CS. I want to ask the gentleman who has been acting. And you said your name is who?
Ogoy.
How long have you been at the airport?
Since 2006.
Since 2006.
How long?
Please allow me to interrogate this. Chair, I would like to present this document to you because it's a public document. That is the report that was done by Honorable Kosing under the Hansard, and that report, very, very fortunately, Chair, our deputy chair was in that committee. My current deputy president, Honorable Gachagua, was in that committee, and the other person who was in that committee was Honorable the Solicitor General, Mr. Mose. Shadrach Mose. Why do you think the report which came 2018, and it was saying that we cannot give our airport under the PPP arrangement, why did the committee make recommendations that that should be stopped? And when did the government change the policy? The same question that Honorable Sifuna is asking. For us not doing competitive bidding to do our airport, and decided that we are now going to give this to a guy because you are there.
And as you answer that, clarify, because you said you've been there since 2006, and at what capacity, or which capacity have you been since 2006?
Through my CS, thank you. I joined the airport authority from Kenya Engineering Company in 2006, and up to the time I took over as the acting CEO,
charge of strategy in the authority.
Which means he knows everything that has been happening from the last 10 years.
So, in terms of what Senator Nyonka is asking, is that I do remember that Kenya Airways at one time wanted to take over the airport. And one thing which will be very clear to the committee here is that running an airline business is quite different from running an airport. It is just like the way judges and advocates meet in court.
Yeah, I think Ethiopia will let
Ethiopians are running all airports.
Absolutely. Let every member execute their point. You cannot inject on every syllable. Let them finish the statement.
So what happened was that when Kenya Airways made a proposal to take over Jkia to run, even the capital expenditure was even not clear what they were going to do. The interest was not the fact that they wanted to invest in it, but the interest was from some other things. Having gone through the entire process, memoranda were submitted, it was decided that it was not the wisest move to do.
Thank you. So,
just on a point of order, allow me on that particular point, because Senator Nyonga has asked a very, very important question and has submitted findings of this parliament. The airport is governed under the Kenya Airports Act, which was established in 1991. And if you read that act clearly, it talks about the objective of that act, and it talks about the roles of the KAA. The PS, when asked the question whether Adani is going to be taking over the entire operation, say yes, or in answer to the affirmative. Now, does it mean that we are now going to use a PPP to amend an act of parliament? By giving away, and it is very, very clear. It actually says to operate, KA is a state-owned enterprise established in 1991 under the Kenya Airports Authority Act, Chapter 395 of the laws of Kenya. And the law is to manage, operate civil airports, airstrip across Kenya. So are you telling me you're now first of all going to amend that act so that you exclude Jkia, so that you can be able to send it up to run it differently?
Honorable Chair, there are various ways of running our business. There are businesses you can run directly. There are businesses which we run through the support of the private sector. Like we run a number of concessions across the network. What we've run into is the fact that we don't have the financial muscle to expand the infrastructure at Jkia. The infrastructure is 10 years behind. If we look at our balance sheet, we are not able to address that infrastructure deficit. And that's why it came to us that can we invoke the PPP Act 2021 to address that deficit. The fact that we are going to concession part of the airport for purposes of aeronautical facilities. When I talk of aeronautical, I mean the airside thing to do with the runway, the parking bay. It doesn't mean that we are going to vacate our responsibility. In any case, there is no operator we can operate at the airport without being supervised by Kenya Airports Authority.
Chair, would I proceed, please?
How many minutes do you need? Because I think you have 5 more minutes.
That's right. I'll rush through it so long as nobody stops me.
Okay.
And Mr. Ngoya, you have been in civil aviation for how long? You, Chair?
For 19 years.
Thank you. When you were negotiating with Adani, you understand how the Kenyan civil aviation infrastructure is set up vis-a-vis the private, civil aspects of our aviation and the military aspect of aviation. Did you decide or even think of negotiating with Adani what they're going to do with our military presence? Because we use the radar at the airport is used by our military and also by civil aviation.
Honorable Chair, within the agreement, we have something called common services.
Wait, an agreement with who?
No, within the we've already shared with you the heads of terms.
Yes.
Heads of terms is a summary of negotiation items.
Yes.
Within that set of terms, there are certain common use services which have been identified. And even the fact that
I want to help you. Have you ever seen any country in the world that gives its civil or military aviation responsibility to a private company to run?
you see, Adani, when any concessionaire who is coming to operate the airport, we confine itself to the commercial side of the airspace, not the military side of the airspace.
How would they do it unless the military has bought its own radar?
I think if you are aware, the way the airport, the civil aviation is structured in the country, Kenya Civil Aviation Authority is in charge of the airspace management. And any airport operator must comply with the requirement of Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. Just like Kenya Airports Authority complies, any concessionaire who comes on board must also salute that regulation in terms of responsibility with respect to the usage of the airspace.
So through you, Chair, what you are actually telling me is that yes, all the air traffic controllers that we have in the Republic of Kenya would not be interfered with by Adani.
I can confirm.
Where is that agreement?
It is hosted by Kenya Civil Aviation Authority.
Would you be candid enough and agree to table it when we are meeting here next?
I would suggest, in the interest of separation of responsibility, that you direct the PS, our PS, to invite the DG of KCA to come and confirm.
Whether you want the PS to bring it or the CS, my argument, I'm saying that agreement was not delivered to us and I would like to be presented.
Because it was not.
The next thing I want to raise, Chair, is asking my brother, the CS, there is an amount that is supposed to be paid as a fixed concession amount in this agreement, $47 million. Who's supposed to pay it?
The concession fee that is being negotiated right now stands at $50 million to be paid by the proponent.
Who is supposed to pay?
The proponent, that is Adani.
And if you don't, that is not true. So I'll ask my colleague to present that information. We are the ones who are actually supposed to pay that amount of money in case we don't oblige to agreement, particularly if that agreement has been signed. So I want to raise the issue. Go to page 38, section 7 for preliminary financial proposal. Yes.
Are we discussing the proposal or the agreement?
It's on the report.
What I'm trying to say
is the proposal that Adani is presenting,
which the country, as per the CS, had said, they have not gone to the point of the agreement.
No, but it's good for Kenyans. It's good for proposal. Chair, it's good for Kenyans to know what we're getting into. That is it. Yeah, let's see the baby. Let's see how they dressed up this baby. As indicated on table 8 below, we are proposing a fixed concession fee as consideration for the contracting authority. For the base year, the fixed concession fee is provisionally estimated to be at USD 47 million to be updated post-feasibility study. So it could go to $100 million. Some of the assumptions underlying this proposal include projected aero revenues, which are based on competitive assessment of Jkia's historical and current aero charges. We, as a country, will pay that, right?
No, that is not.
What is this about?
This comes from the proposal.
Can I, Chair, through you, please? And I'm not being rude. You'll forgive me, yes. I'd rather ask my legal team to interpret this for us, Chair.
You see, and that's why I was asking, Senator, so that we don't be seen to be discussing a document that is a proposal, as the CS has said, that they
Chair. This is what it is.
No. Just
this is what
let me come out clear. Yeah, let me come out clear. Because you see, a proposal just is a draft. That's what we want to understand. And then you can just listen to me. And that's why, because we don't want to take the committee's time to discuss a document that is already discarded or will be
Chair, can I help?
what I would want us to deal with.
With a lot of humility.
What I would want
with a lot of humility, Chair.
Yes. What I would want us to do.
Could I please say something?
What would I want us to deal with is that, according to the CS, and I want just to direct the part that you have to take, so that we don't even discuss the colors, we don't discuss the letters, we don't discuss all those things. What we need to discuss as per the CS is what he has submitted, what he has said it's not being dealt with, or they have not gone to that point. Do you think it would be proper to take Kenyans through a document that is already nowhere?
Absolutely, Chair. So let me ask you, Chair, when you wanted to marry somebody, did you want them to tell you what kind of wedding they want to hold? It's okay, that will determine your judgment.
No.
The point I'm making is, and I say this with a lot of humility, Chair, don't give keep for them.
I'm just
Chair, this is their document.
Can I help, Chair?
Yes,
This is a document.
Just 1 minute, Chair. You see, the Senator is reading the Adani proposal. Perhaps what you could direct that the CS responds to, just like we dealt with, you remember when I made the original proposal for Adani saying the runway is not a priority, they would have to evaluate traffic and see if it is necessary. So the ministry should tell us this proposal on a fixed concession fee, how have they treated it? Because it's a proposal, it's not a draft. This is a proposal that was received from Adani. During the course of the negotiations that are going on, how has the Ministry of KA treated this proposal? That's all they need to say.
and I believe the CS, I'm just trying to give direction, because the first question that the CS said here is that there is no agreement, it is just a proposal. So the question is, and I want members also to go along with me, is whether you want to discuss a love letter or that proposal or marriage certificate.
Chair, it is also correct.
Because and I wanted, I don't want to be seen that I'm stopping Senator Onyoka from executing his point. My point is as easy as that. The CSA, there's no argument, there's no proposal. So do you want us to spend time?
Allow me to guide you on one thing, Chair. It is not correct, by the way, to say there is no agreement. What the Ministry of the KA should be saying, there is no final agreement. Because the head of tax is an agreement. So what they need to tell you is how have they treated explaining how they have treated them.
Okay, explain that.
Chairman, it's fairly straightforward. If you refer to page 24 of the days of terms,
Yes.
which has brought out what has been kind of agreed, we will be able to answer Senator's questions. Page 20.
Chair, through you, Chair.
Yeah, President.
I would like to state that a permanent concession means that in case we sign this agreement and Adani does not make any money whatsoever, or if anything goes wrong, then we will have to pay that money depending on what it is on a yearly basis, whether they make a profit or not. Mr. Boyer, am I right or have misinterpreted this agreement?
Okay, Honorable Chair. As you may be aware, we run a network of 22 airports. Among them, Jkia is the major operator. When we are concessioning out Jkia, the other airports have to operate. And to meet that requirement, we need a concession fee from the concessionaire. When they submitted the proposal, they made a proposal that they will be paying KA on annual basis $47 million to take care of other requirements. In the negotiation, we negotiated up to $50 million, and it is resident in the heads of terms item 2.4, which my honorable CS has referred to. 12.4.
So, Chair, and you are comfortable with that figure?
We are comfortable with this figure because what this figure is about over and above the revenues which are being generated.
Why was the loans which we have not included in the list that you are on that concessionaire clause? Because we know what the airport owes.
What we've done is that
Just hold on before I finish the way. And if the airport reached the stage and the debts were paid, who would be receiving that money?
this money will continue to be received by KA because KA is also.
I told you that there is a section of this agreement where actually at some point KA is going to have to relinquish the responsibility of running that airport. Which you agreed to.
Honorable Chair, there is no date KA will vacate the management of Jkia.
Oh, thank you, Chair. Now, the next question I want to ask here, because I don't have a lot of time.
2 minutes.
You know a company called CS. I am a bit uncomfortable because you are not there, but I'm sure because of institutional memory, your teams would most probably. The company called LG that is providing the evaluation and analysis of the function. How was it recruited? Did you advertise for this job?
Yeah. Let me put it like this, Honorable Chair. LG is the one which advised the government. Yes.
Excuse me, Chair. Answer the question. Don't tell me the story of what LG does.
For the feasibility study,
Whatever that was
we are
done,
the ones who recruited LG.
did you advertise for them to be recruited? According to the procurement law.
What happened was that
The answer is yes or no.
Give the MD an opportunity to answer you.
Yeah, these are yes or when you see somebody is lying,
yes
you
or
start
no
telling
is
you a story.
mathematical. I mean,
I just want you to say yes. We did
that's
tendering.
the way of giving you an opportunity to ask question, give them a chance to answer question.
Honorable Senator, we want you to inform the public, and therefore we have to give you the right information to inform the public. What happened was that way back in 2022, LG did the National Aviation Policy and Medium-Term Investment Plan for the government of Kenya under the directorship of the PPP Directorate. Because the report was high level, we wanted to have a detailed feasibility study. So we wrote on their institutional memory and the fact that they have data. So we recruited them directly to have the feasibility study.
Chair,
You got your answer. They recruited directly. Next question.
you did direct procurement for a company that is going to do an evaluation and giving a history and that is going to tell us the evaluation of aspects, and you didn't follow the law. Right?
But we saluted the law to the letter.
You didn't follow the law. So I come to the next question, Chair. There's a reason why I asked that question. When you decided that you are now going to actually bring in Adani and they are supposed to be running our airports and there are other things that they are going to do, at what stage do you feel that when you were allowing Adani to come into the airport and when you brought in AIG to come in and these discussions are going on, did you feel there was a necessity for you to start engaging the stakeholders, particularly the workers of the airport and including the business interests and the people who are running the businesses at the airport? Did you conduct feasibility studies before you and Adani could sit down so that you get the direction the public is thinking, or did you decide that the public was not needed in making that decision?
Honorable Chair, as I mentioned earlier, ALG did for us a feasibility study upon which we got the numbers now to engage. Now, in terms of engaging the workers and the other stakeholders of the airport, we were not in a position where we had the concretized information which we could now discuss with the concerned stakeholders. And that's why we waited for the heads of towns to be ready, things clear, so that we have something which we can discuss, which we can share with the concerned stakeholders. Chair.
So through you, Chair, there was no need to call these people. After all, as far as I'm concerned, AIG is basically an illegal entity that has been conducting exercises without authority. So I will come to the next question very quickly, Chair. You have mentioned that there was no any other private organization or company that gave a proposal for them to also come in and participate in the PPP exercise. The answer I'm going to ask you, my leader, is very simple. Did you receive any report from any other company making a request that they also would want to participate in this exercise?
Honorable Chair, the only PIP we received was from Madani Airport Holdings, but not from any other party. PIP.
Through you, Chair, do you find that normal? That one company, let's assume I am a senator and I want to construct a stadium. Would it be normal that if I woke up one morning and found one company that is telling me we'll do the stadium for you, we'll be collecting the figures from the gates and entrances and everything, and this is what we're going to do, would you just proceed and say, yes, come, let's proceed?
Honorable Chair, that's why there is nothing which has been given to Adani, and that's why we've subjected it to the due process. And within that